Hi guys, Coach Ed here. Talk about the new performance block. First things first, we're back into an intensification phase. So we talked about the difference between accumulation and intensification. We're now 12 weeks out from the CrossFit Open. That basically means we have 3 blocks to play with. So we're moving into more sport-specific work. Now, sport-specific in the realms of the CrossFit Open means maintenance of our absolute strength development that we've been working on, and probably an increase in the variance and the craziness of the sport, particularly with regards to conditioning pieces. How it's going to work now leading up to the Open is we're going to push really hard for 3 weeks, and every 4th week we're actually going to have a deload. Now, what a deload means, it just means a reduction in the amount of training volume you do in that week. Having said that, we're going to keep the intensity fairly high. It's really important that we do have a deload every so often, especially in an intensification phase. It's a chance to let the body heal and to allow adaptation to occur from the last block. Without a deload, if we just keep on running ourselves into the ground, eventually we get beat up, injured, and we actually don't adapt from the stimulus we've been working on. So how the week is split up. The biggest change you're going to see is Monday. For the first time, we're moving away from snatches. Monday is essentially your critical day, which means you're coming out of 1 day rest. I know a lot of you have big weekends, so maybe not so much the case, but we're going to shift the emphasis back towards cleaning on a Monday. So we're working on absolute speed strength there. We're going to do some absolute strength work with your back squat, because remember now we're going to try and maintain all that hard work we've been doing over the last few months. With that said, a lot of us are still going to get strength gains in this phase as well. Then we're going to finish with some clean CP battery in fatigue setting. Sounds very complex, but what that means is that CP battery means that we're lifting heavy loads. CP refers to creatine phosphate. That's the system we use when we're doing something like a heavy clean or a heavy back squat. It's really important in the sport of CrossFit that we're able to repeatedly lift heavy loads over and over and over again. So we're going to work on improving that ability, the ability for ourselves to do so. Tuesdays, we're going to be working on strict handstand push-ups. As a whole, the performance group, we're lacking that overhead absolute strength. And strict handstand push-ups just a facet of the sport. It hasn't showed up in the Open yet, but who knows, it might do. With that said, developing strict capacity is only going to benefit you with regards to kipping capacity. You're also going to do some upper body pulling absolute strength. So low volume, heavy loaded, things like weighted supinated pull-ups, pronated pull-ups, so on and so forth. You're then going to finish your Tuesdays with some CrossFit gymnastic density capacity work. That means things like kipping handstand push-ups, kipping toes to bar, chest to bar, pull-ups, all that kind of stuff in a capacity setting, which means high volume fatigue based. We've done plenty of work in the past on refining your technique. Now we just got to take that technique and build some volume with it. How to improve gymnastics? I get a lot of you asking me this. Can we put on things like kipping clinics, gymnastics clinics? Truth be told, in the classes it's hard because we do have a lot of stimulus to try and get through in an hour. So in January, our gymnastic and movement specialists, Stephen Hightower and Shingo Maramasa, are going to be starting a new class in the new year, which is going to be targeted towards movement and gymnastics. So the reason for that is to give you guys a chance to sign up to something a little bit different, purely focus on improving your ability to move and your ability to perform gymnastics and CrossFit. The two go very, very much hand in hand, and which will put us in good stead for the Open. Wednesdays, working on snatch, absolute speed strength. That means we're trying to drive up your 1 rep maxes. SB, snatch balance and accessory work. That's just to, again, build awareness in your snatch and hopefully improve. Then we've got some squat and knee flexion density in a fatigue setting. So similar to a Monday, the only difference is we're going to do extensive work. So when we say extensive, that really means we're typically using loads that are kind of less than 50 to 60% of your 1 rep max, whereas intensive would be heavy. So we can kind of think about the clean and squat work that we do on a Monday in the conditioning piece as intensive work, and the clean and squat and snatch work that we do in a conditioning piece on a Wednesday as extensive work. Important that we build capacity in both. Thursday, as you guys know, for the last few weeks, we've been posting a movement mobility protocol for you guys to follow. That should take you 45 to 60 minutes. You don't really need any other equipment other than just a bit of space. Highly, highly recommend you do that. That's not going to change for the most part until every kind of 4 to 8 weeks. But as we always say, our YouTube channel, we're constantly uploading that with new movement and mobility pieces. Keep on tuning in and playing around with that kind of stuff. Fridays, we're going to be doing some clean and jerk complex work. It's going to be varied, so it's going to change every week. And then we do some MAP work. MAP work basically refers to max aerobic power, which is basically aerobic work, so staying below that threshold, continuous breathing work, and we're going to be playing around with some barbell gymnastics and cyclical pieces. So that's kind of like your typical CrossFit sessions. For example, power cleans, wall balls, and rowing. Saturday, that's going to be a longer aerobic work with a cyclical focus. With that said, in the new year, those Saturdays, we're going to be running gymnastics and movement classes in the morning, and there will only probably be 1, maximum 2 CrossFit classes. Speak to us individually as coaches if you're not sure as to what you should be doing. Just some subtle reminders, as always, make sure you're getting regular tissue work and massage work done. Obviously, working with a sports therapist who deals with athletes is going to probably be more beneficial than working with your everyday kind of massage parlor down the road. Make sure you're listening to your body and rest when needed, especially as we go into this intensification phase, because the intensity is high, we're pushing harder. This is kind of the time when niggles and injuries can start to sneak in. If you're not looking after yourself and if you're kind of overreaching by not resting, then it could be a problem further down the line. And that goes the same with the same thing can be said for any sport that we do. Last one is seek additional advice and expertise when needed. As a coaching team, we always want to sit down and talk to you guys and help you. We're available for one-on-one work. Obviously, we have those specialty classes starting up in the new year, but don't be afraid to ask. Thanks, guys, and keep up the good work.